All right, welcome to a very special edition of the Dump and Jays podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Robillard. Alongside me, as always, Nolan Chard. And we have a very special guest with us today, Stanley Cup champion, Nicolas Aubé-Kubel. How's it going, bud?
I'm great. I'm great. You guys?
Wonderful. I'm doing
Couldn't
great.
be better.
Um, to kick off, just kind of wanted to go over how Kubel and I bumped into each other. 2 years ago, actually, yesterday was the first time you and I met. I thought that was kind of funny that that popped up on my Facebook. Um, but yeah, it was like midnight, I think, and like it was the night before you had a game in Calgary, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna message Kubel, see if he'll answer just randomly. I have no idea why I did it. Um, and then I sent like this long paragraph about how I'm a fan of you and I watched you in Philly and then you're in Washington now. And then I woke up the next morning, you texted me at like 6 a.m. I'm like, oh, okay. And then we planned for stuff and then yeah, and then it took kind of the whole day, but I ended up getting I think dinner with my dad waiting for you and we went to the mall and then hung out. I think you got lunch with your uncle or something, 'cause you had morning skate and then hung out with your uncle and then we finally met up a couple hours before your game. Um, I can't believe that was 2 years ago already though. Feels like it was not even
Yeah,
that
it
long
felt like
ago.
yesterday. I remember liking all your stuff, your picture modifying and stuff. Like
Oh yeah.
that was really impressive. So I was glad to answer your text.
Yeah. Um, oh yeah, because I guess yeah, I made the for the Stanley Cup one, and then I had a bunch of jersey swaps for you and stuff.
Yeah. You still do that often?
Here and there, yeah, it's kind of hard with school and stuff, and kind of keeping up with writing and just other things. But if I have the time, I'll sit down and do something once in a while. Just trying to stay stay on
Yeah.
top of it still.
Yeah, that's a good hobby to have. It's pretty impressive what you can do with the
Yeah.
computer.
Thank you. I just wanted to get into kind of your injury a bit, how you feeling, your knee and stuff. I know it's been a couple weeks since, but
Yeah, feels good. It was kind of a bad timing. First game of the year, had a really good preseason, and yeah, just unlucky. Try to hit a guy, and skate got caught behind me. So as I turned, I kind of it was. I felt already like right away. I felt something was wrong with my knee, and so just went for a couple of like a quick lap after during a break. And I knew it was weird. I had that same injury my first or second year in the American League. So it's like the ACL, so one of the three ligament we have in the knee. Don't quote me on that. I don't know if we have only three, but yeah. So the ACL is like the interior one. It's pretty common in hockey. I remember that first time I got it, I had PRP, which is like you take blood, some of your blood, you put in the machine that takes all the white cells and plasma, and then they re-inject it where you're hurt, and it's supposed to heal faster. So this time I we didn't do it, and I think it was a good thing because came back pretty quick. The rehab went well, but it was just pretty hard to come back after missing three weeks, 3 important weeks where everyone just get into like the season shape, and so since then I have been kind of battling in and out of the lineup, but hopefully this time I stick for good in the lineup and stay healthy.
yeah, I mean, I mean, it didn't go well for the Sabres last night, as we're recording this episode, but I mean, you had a pretty good pass to Malenstein there last night. I saw that,
Yeah,
threw that up on Twitter, showed that to the boys this morning.
Yeah, that was a sweet
Um,
pass.
yeah, thanks.
um,
Yeah, I felt good because I don't know, I haven't produced much in the first few games I've played. Good chances the previous game, but nothing, no points. So it felt good to have that little monkey off my back, get the
yeah,
first point.
yeah, for sure.
It's unfortunate that we lost that game, and winning 4-0 against a good team like that, you kind of want to keep the lead and play more defensive. But credit to McKinnon and all those
Yeah, I guess your
stars.
former teammates. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was cool. I
Yeah.
went to dinner with Sam the night before, a good friend of mine, Gerard. And yeah, just catching up. A lot of new things for him too. He's gonna be a dad soon, and with last year not playing much, yeah, it was good to catch up with him.
Yeah. I guess off of that, congrats to you and Madison with Theo.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Can you go through that, kind of just being a father now, and does that kind of change anything for you? Do you view anything differently, or?
Uh, it's crazy because I remember like I got sent down to the American League last year, and that's when it happened. Maddie got the positive test, and at first I was like, oh, big news. Um, Trying to a little focus more on the hockey side, trying to get back to the NHL, and yeah, it kind of took like a surprise to me. Didn't want to say like I wasn't ready or anything, but it's kind of the feeling I had. Being father is something I was expecting a little later in life, but uh, it's actually the total opposite. I feel like since I have Tio, it's a blessing, and I'm so happy to be a dad, and I love being a dad.
That's awesome.
I have a bunch of questions. They're not really about that. It's, believe it or not, it's going to be about your short tenure in Toronto. But
As a Leaf fan, that's what you had to
yeah,
ask.
I just had to ask. So obviously that year that you signed that contract with the Leafs, you are fresh off of like a high winning the Stanley Cup with
Yeah,
Colorado the season before, and the Leafs have lost in seven to the Lightning that playoffs.
again.
What was like that training camp like? Like was it was it like super way more intense? Like was it like
Um, no, as well. So in the playoff against Edmonton, conference final, I blocked a shot from Darnell Nurse and uh, got a really bad ankle. Tried to play with it, wasn't like fully in. It was kind of a tough bounce, and went into the summer. Didn't really like rehab or anything. Just decided I'll change my skates because like since I had that injury, it's like kind of weird in my skate. So I was like, oh, I'll just change to Bauer. Uh, Better support for the ankle. I thought I was trying to figure it out, and so came in with to the camp with new skates that weren't really, I don't know, not really the thing for me. So it's kind of like you know trying to fit new pair of skates and trying to get all the pressure from camp away, new team, all that stuff. So I didn't have the best camp. I didn't really do well. It was kind of a sore moment because didn't like really wait or didn't take time or anything. It was just all right. You're on waivers, um, but sort of a blessing too there because I was really happy to be picked up by Washington. Met like made so many friends there, and is to my favorite year of my career playing in Washington, um, playing with Ovi. Carlson made so many friends, and yeah, it was a good time for my career.
yeah, that's awesome. Uh Another question about I guess well it won't be the Leafs, it'll be the Capitals now, but getting picked up off of waivers by the Capitals and you like know you're going into a room with Ovechkin, as you said.
Yeah.
Was that like intimidating in any way or is he just like
Yeah, at first I thought it'd be intimidating. That big Russian like all star, what Hall of Famer, and turns out to be like the most normal, funny guy. Man, he's a blast. Having him in the locker room, it's so fun. Like he's just a big goofball. Like doesn't take anything too seriously, and I really enjoyed my time with him. And it's yeah, give me a good perspective of like how he made his career, and you know, uh, yeah, I learned a lot from him.
That's awesome.
it's awesome.
Yeah, like I know I don't know if this is still true, but his son, like his favorite player was you when you were
Yeah,
there. So,
yeah, that was funny. After every game, he'd come and give me a big hug, and I don't know where it all started, but he's so cute, little Sergey. We had like later in the year, we had like a team Christmas party, and he would like pull my shirt the whole night just so we could go play new hockey. So I had a lot of knee hockey time with him, and I don't know. I just love kids, so I'm a big kid, so it kind of matched. And then from there, we had a big friendship. Even though he doesn't speak English and I don't speak Russian, but we had that little friendship there.
That's
It's
awesome.
awesome.
Um, I wanted to ask you, yeah, going from team to team, like what is it just a huge adjustment for you going to locker room to locker room? And for you as kind of a locker room guy, does it take you a minute to get adjusted, or do you go like kind of just in like you would any other day and just kind of feel the room?
Yeah, well, it's a good question. I think the thing that's the toughest is to leave guys behind. It's you develop friendship over a year or two, and really you really like to have friends over, and it's just tough because like the next day or the next season you have to make new friends all over again. So luckily for me, with hockey younger, I've switched high school probably like think I switched schools 6 years in a row. So making friends and fitting in was kind of developed pretty good, I guess. So never had too much problem making new friends, but I think it's where the leaving friend behind and kind of losing that friendship, not losing, but like it's hard to maintain X amount of friendship. So it's that thing was probably the hardest, and same for my wife. Like you go to a place and it's hard for girls to make friends, a little harder than guys in the locker room, where we're always together. So we'll have a few here and there events, and you get to attach to people, and then you plan stuff, and then as you know, like you have to restart all over again, and
Yeah.
break shells, and but I think it's good for her personality too. Like she kind of has have to deal with it and has to get out of her shell a little bit. So I think that was good on her personality too.
Yeah. So is Madison like still following you around and stuff, like city to city, or like do you guys have a place in Pennsylvania now that you kind of call home
Yeah,
base?
yeah. She follows me city to city. So I remember that when I went to Denver, took her like a month before she came to meet me, just to make sure I have like an apartment. Because you stay at the hotel for like the first few weeks until you find an apartment. And yeah, of course, like I want her with me. Just being at a hotel is kind of sucks. So I'd rather have her staying home with the dogs or something than being all crammed up in the hotel. But once you have your apartment, yeah, she's been following me everywhere, and I enjoy that. It's a good thing. She's easygoing, and uh, it's a good quality for her to be in that situation.
Speaking of Madison, how many custom jackets and clothes does she have for you? I mean, I see her Instagram and she's making all this custom stuff, and I feel like she has, obviously she has one for like every team, but
Yeah,
I feel like that closet's got to be getting pretty full, no?
yeah. Well, it's one of her hobby of hers, like crafting. She even before when I was hurt with her, she had her own little jewelry line. She was making handcrafted earrings and whatnot. So and rings. So it's cool that she can match her passion, her hobby with hockey, and it's funny too because it got her a lot of friendship because like a lot of girls will go to her and be like, "Oh, like I saw your jacket. Do you mind making me a jacket?" And
Mhm.
it just goes away. And at one point, I wanted to start a business for her. Like once you're at home, you have something for you and to work on. And we're still working on that a little bit. It'd be cool for her to have her own line of if it's Buffalo, it could be Buffalo or some other wife reached out last year for playoff. It was Calgary, like being like, "Oh, do you mind making a playoff jacket for the whole team?" Unfortunately, didn't they didn't make the playoff, but uh, yeah. So it's cool. It's a fun hobby, and she's really artistic. So get to express herself and making new friends and connection along the way. It's cool for her.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's a bit like like you have your arts. You met me, but you meet probably other people. It would be like it's almost like you're a fan of hockey, so then you apply to hockey. But if you were a fan of whatever other sports or anything else, you could make connection or friends through that. So yeah, Maddie just it's cool because like she goes to the game, she gets all ready and dolled up. And she loves that stuff, so it's hard to say no. I know some guys are like, oh, jackets for wives. They don't really appreciate it, but I think it's cool. Like she gets involved, and um, yeah, it's just a cool way to get time, I guess. When we were in Denver, we had an auction, so all the guys had to sign their jersey and auction it for I don't remember the cause. Maddie would know. And then she made a jacket that year, and she was like, "Oh, I'll auction it, like
Oh yeah.
just for charity." And believe it or not, her jacket made more money than my signed jersey. I think there's some potential. So yeah, she's trying to get involved with other things like women's hockey. I told her like I have a friend that played for Toronto. She just moved to Europe now, but for that women team. And I was like, oh, that'd be so cool. Like you should reach out and make jacket for the whole girls, and then they could
Yeah.
go to the rink and wear that. It'd be cool, Like guys, we don't really get it because we just want to, just wear a hoodie and a hat and you're cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
more like
pretty
more of the
much.
accessories and what matches, and Maddie will have like a jacket that's whatever red with blue leathers, and then her shoes has to be blue, and
Everything's got to match. Yeah.
get that I don't get that sense, but women likes that, so it'd be cool for her to join in with the what's the league
The PWHL?
PWHL, yeah, so that'd
Yeah.
be cool.
Now, is she picking out outfits for you, or are you dressing yourself to games?
uh rarely. Yeah, she managed all the outfits for TO now, so
Yeah.
that's her time designing outfits, but she's pretty busy with her own.
All right, I want to go back to your time when you first made your debut for the Flyers, which was in 2018, I believe.
Yeah,
And there were some veterans in the room like Giroux, and I believe Voracek was there too.
yeah.
Did you take like as you saw them in the room as you first come in, like did you have a mentor that kind of took you under the wing there early in your career?
So it has like more mentor. I think Couturier was closer to that role. You've always been so kind to me throughout my days there. Learning all the stuff that come with playing in the NHL. So he's been really good friend and patient, and he's a truly good leader. So I think that was more to him. And playing playing in the American League is a total different style than in the NHL. So um, as my first call up, I didn't stay too long. Had 9 games, but it was more like the following years where I really made my mark and stayed as a full-time player.
Nice. Um, so you were more of a scorer in the queue,
Yeah,
and then now you've kind of developed into like a role player checking forward.
yeah.
Was that change very difficult, or was it quite easy for you?
It is weird. I feel like it was my first year in the American League. Uh, as being like sort of a high draft pick. Scored a bunch in the junior. Came as a young, like confident in the American League, and you hit kind of a wall. It's pretty hard to score in the American League and more defensive league. So we had a lot of older guys on our team. So the coach was playing all the older guys, and I remember he told me like, you'll never play in the power play on the NHL, so you better develop something else. And he always like put me more into a defensive role, and being like strong and fast like as I am, I took those attributes and try to change the role a little bit. Um, I was pretty happy that my first goal was a power play goal, which was a little a little fu to not a fu, but a little back in your face to not crushing my dream, but being more realistic. But I don't know. It also like depends. Like you can get a opportunity where a top six forward get hurt, and then that's your first call up. You're a top six player, and then you play well during that, and you stick to it. Mine was I got called up, was the bottom six, and I did well when I was doing that, so it kind of stick and developed that attributes, and it fitted well too with my physique. Like I like playing rough. I like to hit, so I guess that's where it came from.
Yeah, nice.
You play
Next thing,
hockey?
I did play hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah, stopped a few years ago, but yeah, I didn't play my last year.
What kind of
Focused
player were
more
you?
uh, out
Team
front
player.
kind of guy. Out
Yeah.
front, yeah,
What?
I like watching Matthew Tkachuk. I mean, I hate playing. I would like hate watching the Leafs play against
Yeah.
him because he just owns the ice every time. But I kind of like to model my game after him, just out front and just really annoying,
Yeah.
which I think is the most fun way to play is up front in people's face. But
Yeah, it's a winning way to play. That's for sure.
yeah. Next thing I want to touch on is your jersey number, 96. Is it off your birth year? Which is
Yeah,
what I would
I
assume.
always had 16 growing up, and my first year in Flyers, the jerseys retired, so I couldn't get that one. They gave me off camp 62, which I don't know, I didn't really like, but it is what it is. So going to Colorado had 16. Um, Toronto, that's when I was like I had a choice to make. 16 is retired, I think, in Toronto.
It's
Do you know?
Marner. Marner
Oh,
wears
I think so.
16.
It is Warner. Yeah. Yeah. So obviously I couldn't get that one. Um, so yeah, I just went with 96. I think it's a cool number with, nine upside down. Also my birth year.
I going back to kind of just playing team to team. I know I'm not sure who your agent is, but how does that signing process kind of work? Is there X amount of offers you get per year because you're on 1 year deals, obviously? And kind of why did you decide Buffalo, or was that kind of just where you thought of going?
Um, so when you get in the league, you're on your entry level, and then from there till you play 7 year in the league, or you're 25, you are restricted free agent. So that means team can make you a sort of a bad offer and still sign you for cheap. And then as you get closer to those 7 years or 25 years old, then they can kind of buy free agency years. So then let's say you're 24, you're close to they could be like, all right, we'll sign you for 4 years. So then there's 3 years of free agency. We'll give you a little more. Um, for my case, when I was in Denver, I was still restricted. I didn't hit that 7 years yet, so I thought I'd be I thought I'd be you know qualified and signed by Denver. Which after the Stanley Cup, I remember I was planning my whole Stanley Cup party, and that's when my agent told me he was like, "Yeah, Toronto won't or Colorado won't qualify you. You had good stats this year, and if they qualify you, they would have to go X amount, and that's probably too much for them. They don't have the cap." So I was like, "Oh, okay." It's a quick turnaround because like I thought myself like, "Oh, I left my stuff in Denver. I was sure I would leave. I would go back there. Got a new driver license, the plates, everything. I was like, pretty sad on going back there. I enjoyed it there, loved it there." Um, so yeah, that was a quick turnaround. So it was like 4 days before the free agency that year. I just realized I'd be a free agent. So um, not knowing at all nothing from the free agency, you're just kind of leaning on what your agent says. And what he was saying is like he talked with the teams, and not much offers were out there. I had Florida. Not much offers were there. probably being so late, like let's say, let's say, I don't know, Detroit, which was interested, probably had their ABC guy that they want to sign up front. And then when it comes to, free agency day, they're like, oh, this guy's going there, this guy's going there. Well, all right, we'll make a good offer for Nick, which I didn't know how that worked. So I didn't, and I still don't know, so coming to, it's at noon. Coming to noon, I'd only had Florida and Toronto that were offering me like concrete offers, which were really under what I was thinking I would get. Just winning the Stanley Cup, having I think I had like 23 points that year, so I thought I'd get more of a pay raise. And so my agent really told me, is like, well, we never know with the cap not going up this year with all the COVID stuff still. It'd be wise to just go for 1 year, even though it's under your pay cut. And I think Toronto is a good place where if you play well, other team will see and you'll get a pay raise the next year. So like, all right, sure. So still debating between Florida and Toronto, and I decided Toronto just from that that exposure, and I wanted to win, so that's a good team. So signed there, and it didn't took me long at camp. Like after 2 weeks in the season, I got waived, so that was kind of a bummer. Decided to sign there instead of waiting and maybe try a better offer, but nothing happens for everything happens for a reason, and gave me 2 great years in Washington. I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of surprised when Toronto, well, when you first went on waivers, I think I was in school and I was like, oh, well, holy shit, you're being a free agent. And I was like, well, damn.
Yeah, it's all part of the business, and made me realize now where like, yeah, I was free agent again this year, and I didn't have the greatest year in Washington because I didn't play that much. So coming off, I don't know, I had I think 10 points that year. So having a good offer by Buffalo, I didn't want to take the risk of passing on that offer, and you know so here again, trying to prove myself and have a good year and see what's going to happen for next year.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. But yeah, I mean, just that short stint in Toronto, like it was like bang bang, like it was pretty much
Yeah,
over and done with. And I was like, um, I I have your Toronto jersey. I've been sitting on it for a while. I had it last year, and I was like, I don't know how he really feels about Toronto, so I don't know if I want to
yeah,
bring this one.
that would start a good fire. If you ever like going camping or anything, you could. It's good. Could start a fire. No, I'm kidding, but uh, I think we have a Toronto fan here, so I'm not gonna say too much. But it was really like a stressful moment, going there. There's so many. It's such a big organization, like so many staff, and I think there's like a coach for each four player. And they have like so many trainers and all that stuff. And I really wanted to go there and do well, like get everyone's name and start conversation. Trying to be nice with everyone. And I don't know, it was really stressful going to the rink every day, and know you're having like so much guys behind you that one takes your spot. Yeah, so God's behind me, and as I said, just thankful it opened me another door for Washington.
Yeah. Um, Briefly, I kind of just want to go back to when you were a kid and your junior stuff. Who was it that kind of made you pick a stick up for the first time and just made you fall in love with the game?
um, so my little family history, but my mom, which is Aubé, French Canadian, went to teach French in Alberta. I don't know if you're familiar with Slave Lake, Alberta.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
like couple hours from us.
Yeah, it's like up north. So that's where I was born. Didn't work with my parents. My mom divorced, went back to Quebec, and raised me and my sister. And my grandfather was always really close to us, trying to give the support to our family as best he could. And I remember, I can't even count how many practice he brought me to the rink, and how many games he didn't miss a tournament. He didn't miss a game. He would always buy me like the best one piece, stick out there, and he was really a good big influence in my hockey career. And um, yeah, I'm super thankful for him. To push me into hockey, and also just being there as a not a father figure, but just someone you count on when you have a practice or anything else. So yeah, growing up in Quebec, hockey's really popular. So it was a quick choice. My sister's a figure skater, so I was always in practice with her as a young age. Learn to skate. Decided not to go pursue figure skating. Good choice. Uh, yeah, she's still skating. She does figure skating on cruises now. So she's
Oh,
with, like Royal Caribbean. They have a little ice rink on the boats, and she's been doing that since she's 19. So I think that's her last contract this year. Um,
hmm,
she did that for 10 years probably. So that she loves skating, and it's hard in her sport because as a professional, you can't really pursue nothing else in the Olympics. There's not really good money to make from that, so it was a good turnaround, I think, and she got a really good experience from doing that on the cruise ships. Um, but yeah, I would say those were my two role models. My sister being an elite figure skater, and love for her sport, kind of shadowing her with hockey, and my grandpa.
that's awesome.
I mean, I guess as a kid, the ultimate goal is to lift the cup, which you did.
Yeah.
And I was looking back at that playoff run. Not much controversy, I would say, other than uh, I don't know. I wouldn't say there really much was controversy other than when you dropped the cup. Um,
Yeah, you had to bring it
uh,
up, huh?
I was
I
waiting for
had
that.
to, I had to bring it up. Uh, what kind of ran through your mind the reactions when you first like fell? Did
Um,
you know that you dented it right at
I
first?
had, I had no clue. So how it went is game five was at home, and as all the guys not playing, you're in the locker room watching the game, and I think we were up by one goal. So to hit the 6 minute mark, everyone go and get dressed, get ready to go on the ice and celebrate. And we ended up, I think, going in overtime or something. We ended up losing the game, and so we're in Tampa for game six, and we're winning by one. And hits the 5 minute mark, and everyone looks at each other like, "No, we're not doing the same mistake again. You guys are superstitious." So they're like, "Oh no, we're not going." So hit the 2 minute mark. All right, now we're going. So now we get dressed super fast, and still had that little bit of ankle soreness, a little bit. So tie my skate super fast. Don't even bother. Like I think I finished tying up my skate, put my helmet, and the buzzer was off. So ran right on the ice, and you celebrate. You're on a super high, and I just remember everyone was leaving, going to the side of the rink to take the picture, but the cup was still in the middle of the rink, right in the faceoff dot. So I'm like, all right, so like someone has to bring it over. So I'm like, okay, I'll bring it over, and as I get into the picture, I'm like, all the superstars are up front, so it's like I'll just put this cup there, and I'll make my way in the back of the picture, where I belong, and so try to put it's pretty heavy, so as I try to lean to put it there, I hit a nit on the ice, probably because my skate weren't really tied that much. I don't want to say, but yeah, it just fell into Nate's lap and took a great picture. And I was right in front with all the superstars.
Oh.
That's
um,
awesome.
yeah, I mean that's kind of what you're known for. Every time I bring you up or like show you people my tattoo on my leg, they're like, "Who?" And then I'm like, "The guy that dropped the cup." And they're like, "Oh, that guy." I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I got a tattoo of the cup, and it has a
yeah,
dent on it,
yeah.
so
That's
it's a little
awesome.
It's
better than
awesome. Yeah, you were when we saw that you signed in Toronto at the time, the NHL. meme community hopped all over that. They said you dropped the cup, so you got punished by going to Toronto. It's,
There's no cups.
Oh, that's so funny.
so
Yeah,
yeah,
no chance of dropping it there, huh?
yeah, no chance of dropping it here.
Yeah.
Oh. Um, uh, just going off of the cup run and just having time with the cup. What was because I know you were big in the parade and just having a blast. What was that kind of week like? And were you was it a 1 day parade thing or was there continuous, like, was it a week long thing where
Yeah,
you were just partying and enjoying
yeah,
life or
it
what?
was a week long thing, and I had friends that came, like four of my best buddies came for the playoff, the last little run. Uh, and when we lost game five, I was like, no, you guys are not going back home. You guys are coming with me to Tampa. And so they went to Tampa, went back to Denver. And so I also had the team to party with, but I had my four buddies tagging along, and it was so fun. They made it so much better. I just remember being so hangover, waking up at 9 10 a.m., being like, oh my god, and I just hear my friend like on the sofa. All right, made it was so much easier for my liver. Just like, all right, we're doing this again. Uh, and then yeah, like I think the parade was like the second or third day when we came back, and that day was just so special. All being on the fire truck, and just having millions of people cheering for you. That was my favorite moment in my career. You know, having so much pride and make it finally into the everyone gathering in one place, announcing your name is just I don't have the words, but I just remember like looking around and being like, wow, like this is crazy. And as the week went on, we continued with the celebration. We had like a day where we went from bar to bar with the cup, which was super cool too. Um, and then had to end it one day, had to end it and start the summer. So went back home, and since the draft was in Montreal, um, the cup was in Montreal. So I was the first guy to get the cup home. So I had like a 6 days to plan a cup party back home. Luckily, I had friends of mine that went through it with Fleury when he won the cup in Sorel. So they guided me. They organized everything. A nice little parade in my downtown. Took pictures with people. Had my coaches for brunch at my place. All my coaches that coached me throughout my like young years. Um, and after the parade, we went for like a little boat cruise. So I live on the St. Laurent River. So we had like a little rented a 70 people like a little cruise boat, which was all like my good family and friends, and that's where the party started. Ended up at my friend that lives has a nice yard, lives near the water, so we had the whole celebration there, and I like truly it was one of the coolest party, being able to celebrate with not just my four friend that made it to Colorado, but now all my friends and family. Yeah, that was truly an amazing moment.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, I I mean, sure, why not? How's your golf game going? I know you golf a
Good.
lot in the summer.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. My grandpa put me to golf when I was like 12, 13. So I was a good golfer back then. And then when hockey hit was more important, I couldn't really beat my score since I was like 15, 16 year old. But I enjoy playing golf. I love it. And then it was more of like a fun thing, just to gather a bunch of friends around and, smack a ball and drink beers with the guys. But this summer was right where I try to, beat my score and be good. So I still enjoy whacking a ball and drinking beers, but this year I was trying to more. So I spent the summer in Washington waiting for Tio to come, and Manta was there too. And you guys probably don't know, but Manta is a big competitor. Playing with him in junior, that's where I got the first first time I noticed how competitive he was. So mainly our week, since we're the two guys there waiting for our kids, our wife being pregnant, we had pickleball and golf every week, and we had to compete whoever wins, and it was a blast.
What's your best score?
Um, Shot a 76.
Damn. Mine's
Yeah.
like an 87. Jeez.
Yes. Yeah. I hang around 80, but that day I was feeling good, so 76 my best.
Wow. Um,
I still think in the next 2 years I'll break 72. That's my main goal.
that's a good goal.
As I move to my hometown and get a subscription, or how do you call that, like being
A
members,
membership? Yeah.
Yeah.
membership that will improve my game a lot. I just play once in a while, but being able to play a few times a week will gladly help my game. What about you guys?
Nolan's more of a laid back
I am
beer.
more of a yeah, smash beers and play golf. That's sort of
Yeah.
that's sort of how I play. I haven't really played seriously. I go with pretty much the same group. Like we go out camping and then we bring our golf clubs and go on a day that we're, hungover trying to get over it.
Yeah.
And then we kind of just play for fun and then we end
Huh.
up uh yeah, smashing a few beers.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
I got a buddy, his name's Zach. He's like going to college for golf and stuff. So I mean, when he's
Nice.
here in the summer, we golf a lot. So that's when I take it more seriously, but when I'm on my own, I'll just kind of have fun.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's in
We need
between.
we need to set around then.
Um, if we're ever in Buffalo, I don't know if you want to come all the way to Calgary during your days off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking about that. I was like, we should go golfing, but I don't think Cubell wants to come all the way to Calgary while he's enjoying his
Yeah.
summer.
Yeah, it'd be cool if we had a late game in the season where
Yeah, you
it's
guys.
still the snow melted. How's the
Yeah,
snow in Alberta?
it it's it wasn't.
There's quite a bit.
There's quite a bit. It was really foggy today.
Yeah.
I think you're here in March, and I think it's still going to be pretty snowy by then. Never the right time.
Yeah.
Maybe we can set something up for
Yeah, I'll
just.
probably come visit my family anyways in Slave Lake one day.
Oh yeah,
You guys
I
would
don't
have to
know.
drive all the way to Slave Lake though.
We can make the drive, go on a little road
Yeah.
trip. Um, I just wanted to ask you a few questions, just fun little questions. Can you name the lineup and goaltender from your NHL debut? Like the guys you played with and then your starting goaltender.
I think I was
Um,
with Van Riemsdyk on the other wing.
yeah, I'll give you some leeway here because there was a few guys because you were kind of up and down the lineup that game. JVR was one.
I don't remember was my center Lawton?
No.
No.
These three guys, like, eh,
I don't remember my center. Dale Weiss? No, he was in the fourth line, I think. Can't remember my center. Neither the starting lineup. It's probably like Giroux, Voracek, and Couturier. That's probably the first line. It's a
let me
good
try and
question.
pull it up here. I'll try and pull up like the full roster here. Because it's from October 30th, 2018. You guys won that game 3-2.
Against Anaheim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. My uncle and my dad and three of my best buddies came to that game. So they had a little road trip together, or like a little trip together in California. All rented an Airbnb, and my dad went back to 20-year-old, just hanging out with the guys.
That's awesome.
Um, yeah, I mean like Jay Lawton's there. He played 12 minutes. Um, Jordan Wheel.
Oh, Jordan Whale was my center.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I played
Um,
with him in the American League, and then he got called up earlier in the season.
yeah. You didn't have any penalty minutes in the game though. You
Oh, that's
had
fair.
9 shifts in one shot
Oh,
and 4 hits. That a boy.
nice.
That's some good fantasy points right there.
Yeah.
Um, I from what I'm seeing here, your line mates were Jory Laterra and then Oscar Lindblom here and there, and then you with Jordan Wheel. And then if you want to guess who your starting goaltender was that night.
Probably Steve Mason. I don't know.
I think Mason was
Uh,
gone for a while
yeah,
before that.
he was gone. Oh, so bad with this. I don't know. Who was it?
Brian Elliott. We had him that
Yeah,
year.
yeah, that would be my next guess. Yeah.
Michael Neuberth was the backup. Well, since you're so great at guessing and remembering, do you remember who your first NHL fight was against? It was
Boy.
against the team you've played for, if that helps. I don't know if you played with him or not.
Oh, was it like lipstick? Lipstick? Lipstick?
Yeah, lipstick,
Yeah,
yeah.
Lipstick.
lipstick. Yeah, it was, and
Um,
it was like the summer after where he got some of his text messages got leaked, and then he went to play in Russia.
oh yeah.
Yeah, so some
I,
fans were making me like, good thing for beating him up. Like, not
yeah,
really, but
you got him with a good right, and
yeah,
then you kind
not
of
much of a
tussled with him a
fighter.
bit. Nah, I mean you got a few good scraps. On hockey fights, you won that fight like 90%, I think, from
Nice.
fan votes.
Yeah.
Um,
Who are the 10% that voted against me? Who are them?
Leafs fans.
Yeah, probably Leafs fans.
Yeah, I just wanted to go back to uh, your Stanley Cup parade. Uh, were you there for when your, I guess now current teammate Bowen Byram almost got in trouble with the police because they
Yeah,
thought he was a
it was
fan
so
because he
funny
looked so
because
young?
I had the same idea. So I went into the crowd and I was like, "Bring me that scooter," and I was scooting around too for a little bit. But like, I don't know, police officer didn't mind me that much. I think maybe one or twice, but I was just scoot by them, and go to my fire truck. I was staying close, but after the fact, I saw Bo like got caught, and the guy's like, "No, you're not a player." I'm like, "No." All the fans were like, "Yeah, he's a player." That's so funny. Uh, yeah, that was just being some idiots that day. So I think it was funny that outcome.
Yeah, that was a crazy, like, just because, like, fans were going nuts, and I think you signed somebody's forehead, and, like,
Yeah, I shaved someone's head too. Yeah, I just
That's
went in the
awesome.
crowd and I was because that guy had a cool helmet,
yeah.
and I wanted to put the helmet on, so I stole his helmet, and then the guy next to him was like has a I don't know why he had a freaking razor on it. He's like, "Oh, I shaved my head." I'm like, yeah, sure. I have a video on my phone. It's like from the crowd, me just shaving that guy's back of the head. And it took way too long, so I just like did one spot in the back of the head, just shaved like 2 inch from his head.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Um, because I was rewatching that stuff, I think a couple weeks before we met again, like the year after. And then I was like, because you signed his forehead, I'm like, you know what? I could probably just get him to sign my like leg or something. I'm like, not my forehead, but like my leg or something. So it was funny. I got the idea from that. I was like, oh, that's not a terrible idea. Um, uh, Also, more about your cup and stuff. Where do you got your Stanley Cup ring sitting?
Under my mattress. No, it's in a safe somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
So-
I want to get it for like we have golf tournament during the summer, so I'll take it out for those occasions just to show off at the golf course. But it's in a safe somewhere. I don't really take it out much.
Yeah, you don't think you want to make a display for it or anything?
Uh, Probably once I retire and have a stable house, probably. Well,
Yeah, I guess with apartments and stuff. Yeah, fair enough. Um, I guess more on collectibles and stuff. Like, do you have a lot of your game worn stuff, or do you not really
no,
worry
I'm
too much about keeping it?
not big into that. I have my draft my draft jersey, which I framed for my parents. I have my first NHL game, which I framed for my grandpa. But besides that, not really. I feel like my wife just cuts them all and makes jacket with it. So
So what you're telling me is I have more game issue jerseys than you do.
yeah, you do 100%. Those are those are really cool, by the way. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, you for sure have more. Yeah, I feel like one day in my man cave, I'll eventually gather all my jerseys and
Yeah, let me know if you need any. I got you. I'm still trying to like find like some of your gloves or sticks or stuff, but people are like paying like so much for them. Like, I'm not paying $300 American for one of your sticks or
I'll
gloves to
get you a
get to my
pair when
front
I'm in
door.
Calgary.
When you're in Calgary next in March,
Yeah,
sounds
yeah,
good. All
yeah. I'll
right.
get you a pair for sure.
Okay. Because like I went on I
I'll
think I
trade it
shared.
for a design.
Sounds good. I'll make you a new one. Sounds good. Because I think I went on sideline swap or something. I think I sent one of them to you where it was all your sticks from the Stanley Cup, and the guy has your Capitals gloves from last year, I think. And they were like 150. I'm like, okay, that's not a bad price. Maybe I'll buy them. And then I realized they're an American and it's like 40 more to ship. I'm like, that's like $350 for a pair of gloves. Like,
No,
that's
no.
no
Just
thanks.
ask me. I'll get you a pair.
Okay, sounds good. Buffalo ones are nice too.
Yeah,
Um,
I like the whole blue and yellow. Those are really cool.
Speaking of gear, do you like customize your gear a lot? Like, do you cut the cuffs off your gloves, or do you have anything with your
Yeah,
helmet?
cut the thumb off my glove, but besides some skate issues since that block shot, I use like the true skate, which are a little more custom than other skates. Hockey stick. I used to have like the most basic pattern, like the Sakic curve, and till last year I tried one of Ethan's Bear stick, and it's
Oh yeah.
just a little bit different, a little more curve on the toe, or yeah, the toe, and I just liked it. So now I have this one, but I used to be pretty basic, to be honest. Maybe like my elbow pads are pretty old, and it's funny. I wanted the exact same elbow pads, and mine were really beat up. So I couldn't find them because they're like the Supreme from probably like 2014, I guess. And I couldn't figure out, like, I couldn't find any pair. So I was going on Marketplace and I was like, oh, I'll check there. And I found a pair on Marketplace. So I DM'd the
Really?
guy. It's so funny. I don't know if you figured out like my name, but like back, he was probably like, what the heck? So I bought the Marketplace, like the elbow pads I like.
Wow.
So I don't know if that guy ever figured it out, but
That's funny.
Are they the ones you're wearing now then?
yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it probably has some Rendo's sweat still in it.
Is there any reason you cut the cuffs off your gloves? Is it like a comfort thing or?
Just like have the thumb free, I guess,
Hmm,
to wrap around my stick, but it's not a big deal, I guess.
yeah. Um, Anything other chart there?
It's easier to
Do
jump the
you?
mitts, once your thumb is free.
Yeah.
Yeah. For superstitions, a lot of players have a lot of superstitions. Like, do you have any like game day superstitions?
No, no, I'm not superstitious at all. Um, I think in junior one year we went playoff and I had a bunch of superstition where I had to tie my skate a certain way, like this one first, and then I know it kind of became like an obsession, and I was like, once the playoff ended, I was like, whoa, this was way too much. I'm never gonna do that again. So I'll have some handshakes with guys, but maybe in the warm up I'll do a few of the same thing. Just I think it's just to get warmed up a certain way, but no, no superstition.
Hmm.
A little boring.
Yeah, that's pretty rare for guys.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Even me and Nolan as fans, I think we're more superstitious than that.
Yeah,
What's your
yeah,
superstition?
When the team's playing good, you got to do the same things, wear the same jersey, sit in the same
Yeah.
spot, like just keep the same things, even though it probably doesn't have
yep.
anything to do with it. In your mind, it makes sense.
For Chard, maybe he should switch his playoff superstition.
Maybe you're the problem.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Yeah. No,
I mean,
trust me. I've tried everything. I don't think it ultimately comes down to superstition anymore. I just just genuinely think we're shit out of luck every year. That's about it. It's kind of on repeat. It's not as mentally destroying as it used to be because I actually saw them win a series for the first time, which was cool, but ultimately meant nothing in the end.
You
um,
never know. You never know. They have a good core. It's every year. It's the same kind of thing, but it's just so hard to play against, team that knows what they're doing in playoff like Tampa or Boston every
yeah.
year.
Yeah, we just can't get Boston again. We just can't get Boston.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, we bumped one slump of winning a series, and now had to try and bump another one last year, which did not work. But
Yeah. Well, you never know. They have a good year this year, so maybe it's
yeah,
their year where Tampa is getting too old and Boston's not doing that great at the beginning of the season, but maybe it's their year.
Like always, maybe, maybe.
Yeah.
don't give me
Um,
hope. Don't give me hope. Can all easily be destroyed.
um, going back to, I guess we really haven't talked about Buffalo much, but just kind of what's the locker room like with those guys? And I know Beck Mallenstein played with you in Washington and kind of having him as a buddy in the locker room. But what's kind of the culture like and just trying to keep a winning momentum there?
It was weird at first because like everywhere I went, I was kind of the youngest guy in the locker room, especially in Washington with all the veteran around, same with Philadelphia, and then I go here and I'm like the fourth or fifth guy, oldest guy in the team. So it's a bit of a different atmosphere, I guess. Like just being around the young guys, I think it's almost I would compare that almost like a junior team where you know, everyone's kind of the same age group, and guys are just having fun, talking nonsense and making jokes. Uh, More as like that younger mentality, less serious a little bit, and I really enjoy it to be honest. That's one thing I really like here. Nothing to say against the city or anything, but it's a little less things to do around hockey. Um, which could be good. Just wraps your head more into the season. Um, but I've really enjoyed getting to know the guys so far, and uh, you know, Darlene is a great guy. He hosted two team party, and you can see he really cares, and he wants to do good as a captain, include everyone. Uh, And that trip to Europe where we started for the global series was pretty cool too. To you know just have that traveling experience mixed with hockey and business. Where we had the first stints in Germany right during Oktoberfest in Munich. So that was get to see the guys' personality when they have a few liter or what the Steins in you, the big beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a cool icebreaker where you get to get to know everyone well. Um, yeah, so really enjoyed my season so far. You know, as the hockey team, just need to get past that injury and stay in the lineup and start playing well. I think the last two games were good in that sense.
Yeah, for sure. Um, Chard, unless you have anything else, I think I'm gonna get into the fan questions a bit.
Yeah, I think go to the fan questions
Okay.
here.
So
Yeah.
Dylan, your last name is French. Why is that?
To be honest, I have no clue. My
Would you say
family's
Robillard?
Robillard,
Robillard?
yeah. I get a lot of Robillard. I
Yeah,
get a lot of
French say Robillard.
I get a lot of stuff. Like people pronounce my name so weirdly. Like one time I was in a hockey tournament and like you know how they like announce your name for like MVP or whatever.
Yeah,
Like one time it
because you
literally
were
was
MVP. Is that what you're saying?
as the
Hump
goalie, yep, stopping
hump
32
back. Okay,
shots a
oh
night.
yeah. So you know when they
Yeah.
announce me as
The
MVP.
heart and hustle, right? Gotta always
The
get the
Heart and
heart and
Hustle
hustle.
MVP, yeah. But they went Dylan and then started Rowe and then just stopped. Like they didn't even bother pronouncing it. They went Dylan Rowe and then I just went up. Like they just stopped because they didn't want to pronounce it. But yeah, I mean, my family's from Toronto. I don't speak French. I don't
You for sure have some French Lin family line in there.
somewhere, but like I never liked French in school. I think my mom kind of speaks it, but that's because she learned it in school. Um, so yeah,
Do you like
I
French toast?
sorry.
Do you like French toast?
Yeah. It's,
Okay, no.
I
I'm
mean,
trying to see if you have any part French in you.
I,
No.
I mean, my fiance makes it, but like that's when I'll only eat it because she tells me to eat it. So I'm a pretty calm eater. Usually the ham and cheese, like it's pretty simple.
So it's more the French kiss then.
Yeah. But yeah, to be honest, I really don't know why or where the French comes from, to be honest.
Huh.
Yeah. Um, one of our buddies, like Liam, the other one of our co-hosts, he struggled to completely say your name like at all. Um, how would you pronounce your name?
So obey is French with the accent, so it's just obey, would say in French. And then Kubel is English, so you can say however in French we would say Kubel. So you can say it totally in French, Aubé-Kubel. You could say like half French, half English would be Aubé-Kubel. So
Yeah.
yeah, same with you. When every year I would win MVP of my league. The announcers would have a hard time. I've had like Obel Cube, which is totally wrong, and I had a fan calling me Abu Dhabi, which
That's what Dylan. We have another buddy, Dylan. He's also a Dylan. That's exactly what he called you today.
man, they call a fan called me that in front of my family, and it's thick. Even my mom sometimes called me that. I'm like, what the heck, Abu Dhabi, man.
Uh,
Just give it up.
yeah, that's why I just call you Cube or like Nick or like I'm just
Yeah, I like that better.
yeah,
AK.
just or yeah, the knack or yeah. But yeah, fair warning to you. A lot of these questions are about the cup. I won't read all of them. Like the why'd you drop the cup? Why'd you do this or that? Um, but I wanted to start with my fiance's question. She texted me this because I told
Congrats,
her,
by the way.
yes, thank you very much.
Are you guys planning a wedding? Sure.
Um, we're discussing it. Not sure when we'll do that. Maybe that's what'll get you out here to Calgary. I'll invite you. Maybe that'll get you out here.
Nice.
Um, but she said, ask you, Belle, is Madison concerned when you carry your son because of what happened when you were carrying the cup?
Oh, it's so funny because it comes with the joke. There's when I was in Lehigh Valley, we had a team party at my place, and she was sleeping on the couch for I don't know for like 30 minutes. So as a gentleman, I tried to pick her up and putting her to bed, and I grabbed her with the blanket. And as we're going downstairs to put her in my room, I stepped on the blanket and fell down the stairs with her. Luckily, I fell
No.
fast, but like I could have freaking break all of her bone. If I fell on top of her, break all of her bone. And
Oh.
so, yeah, it's kind of funny. Like, it was start when we started dating too. So I was like, I dropped her. Now I dropped the cup. Yeah,
Oh my.
not good.
Haven't dropped the kid yet?
Not yet. Not yet. Luckily for Teal. Luckily
Oh.
for Teal. Yeah, not yet.
Uh, um, Not a fan question, but what kind of led you to the name Theodore?
Um, just because it says well in French and English. Um, I like Tio, like the nickname. Uh, yeah, it's just my wife wanted like an old fashioned name. Uh, yeah, just came that we like that one.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, questions. From Alec. A lot of these are probably gonna be Flyers related because that's kind of what
Your
I'm
fan
known
base.
for. So like the fan base that came to with that. From Alex, Do you still talk to any of your former teammates from when you were on the Phantoms, the Flyers?
Yeah, yeah. So I lived 1 year with Joel Farabee.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that year it was me, him, and Samuel Morin.
Yeah.
So, well, Morin now works with the team. He's probably one I speak the most to. One of my good friend through hockey, one of my best friend through hockey, and long life, uh, long life friends. Besides that, I live with Sanheim in the American League. So once we're on the ice, we always talk to each other. Um Konechny, I, still have some friendship. Frost was a good buddy of mine. But yeah, I would say Joel and Sam are the two that I speak most.
Yeah, 'cause I was rewatching the Nasty Knuckles interview you had with Riley and Nasty. And Moran sounds like a pretty competitive guy from when you lived with him with the Phantoms. You guys had a ping pong table. It got pretty serious.
Yeah, yeah, that was so funny, and I would go back to those years in a heartbeat. Just just four guys learning to live by ourselves. It was the best.
Bought like an $80 ping pong racket just to beat Moran.
Yeah, just yeah, so you can put a hole through a wall.
Uh, Um, this one's kind of a good one. Frosty from Philly. Who is the best player you've ever played with that kind of goes under the radar? Not like the McKinnons or the McCarrs or the
Yeah,
Giroux of the world, but kind of just like, for example, like the Sam Moran kind of guys.
that's a good question. Uh, say Joel was pretty impressive. Starting as a young kid like that, and he had a lot of skills. And he made his way so easily in the NHL. Well, easily. It's like straight out of college, and yeah, his skill like were high enough. That was impressive. Uh, Who's a guy that's really good and like in practice you don't even notice all the time. But it's like Sam Gerard is pretty like nasty. You on the ice you kind of see it because he's pretty. He's good, but and he's flashy, but he's a like really special player. Like just how he skates and how mobile he is. Uh, I'd say yeah, one of those two.
Yeah. Um, I mean, I don't know how well you can answer this one. This one's from another Flyers account. Would you ever return to the Flyers if given the chance?
Sure, yeah, yeah. Uh, I think when I left was really stressful. Um, but to be honest, like everything changed with the Flyers. A new coach, new GM, and speaking with Sam, and his relation with Briere, I think it's something really interesting. Like having a good GM like him. Like I've never worked with him or anything, but just from what guys are saying and the little bit I know from him, like just speaking a few times with him, seems like a great GM. So that'd be cool to yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all. It'd be cool actually.
Yeah. Um, just kind of going back to the Flyers a bit, just a personal question, because I remember when you met me and my dad for the first time, you said that you were kind of scared of Ron Hextall when you first met
Oh
him.
yeah, big time.
I mean, he's a scary guy. I met him like when I was like 12, and he was like a giant and just kind of like this bigger guy that I looked up to at the time. Um, and just kind of like, what was Philly like at the time when you were as young as you were and just trying to
Yeah,
make a name
that's
for
kind of
yourself?
that. I think it's kind of what he wanted guys to see him as, like a little like scarier, kind of guy in power, and when he was around in like the facility, like the gym and stuff, everyone was just kind of walking straight and making sure you're doing the good stuff, which could be good, but I don't know and then came like Chuck Fletcher after him, which he was like the nicest human and talkative, and uh, so I don't know about the business side of everything, where what work and what doesn't. I just think I like the more talkative approach, where you can have a little more of a connection and human personality mixed in with all that. It's not just about at the end of the day, for some gym, we're probably just a number and a cattle in a jersey kind of deal. But I just like to think that there's more to that, and getting to know players' personality and just being nice to people, it kind of goes a long way.
Yeah, for sure. Um, how's Lindy Ruff as a coach in Buffalo?
Uh, it's good. I think it's a big change from what the guys had before. So it kind of takes time to adjust. So far, like I've had, I think a little more. I've get to adjust a little bit to coaches that are, um, I want to say old time, but old school. They like hits, they like effort, more than other coaches. So trying to lean on that and trying to gain his trust and show him what I can do. Um, it's just been like a weird kind of start of the season where I get injured and I do my rehab as best as I can. And I really thought, I can just go on and keep going where I left. Uh, but seems to be a little harder than that. Came back, played 6 minutes a game, and the other one 6 minutes, and then getting back out of the lineup again is kind of where I don't know. I and it doesn't have to be with his opinion or anything. I just think, or if I get a little more, then maybe and then it's hard to catch the beat after that because it's like in and out of lineup. That's where you question yourself a little more. But
Yeah.
um, I I think he's a really good coach and a good hockey mind for sure. Like as a player and with all the experience he has, he's seen it all, and I think it's just our team has to figure it out amongst ourselves first. He can coach. There's limit stuff that coach can do, but
Yeah.
so far he's putting us opportunity to win and play well. I think we just have to figure it out amongst the player.
Yeah. Going off of in and out of the lineup, I don't know if it's just because the coaches don't like playing you in Calgary or what. I don't think I've actually seen you play in Calgary. Um, the the year you were here with the Flyers, I think it was before you got waived. It was like a few games before you got waived. You had warm-ups, and I remember pointing you out, and I was like, "Oh, Kubel is gonna play," because at the time I didn't really keep up with, Flyers Twitter and all that stuff because I was younger. And I was like, "Oh, Kubel's gonna play," and then the game started. I'm like, "Oh, he's not even on the bench." Like I think you just took warm-ups and then went up to the press box. But yeah, hopefully, come March, you're in the lineup this time.
I'll do my best. Yeah, I'll do my best.
Yeah.
Be in the
It's
lineup.
just It was just so funny because even last year, because I bought tickets ahead of time, because I was like, oh, you're actually playing and you're like leading up to the week. And then as soon as you got to Calgary, you were like not playing. I was like, wow, all right then.
Yeah,
But yeah, still a fun night. Saw Alex Ovechkin pot two and just had a fun night regardless. But hopefully we see you in Calgary.
hopefully. Yeah,
Hopefully.
Do you know if you've played in Calgary or not, or do you really remember?
I think I played one game in Calgary.
In Philly, probably.
Yeah, or Colorado. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, probably Colorado. Yeah. Because yeah, I guess you don't come out here much either. It's kind of a
No, it's once a
one
year.
a year thing. Um, anything else, Chard? I'm gonna do some rapid fire here.
And I mean about the coaches, you went from the youngest coach in the NHL from Spencer Carberry last year, now the oldest coach in the NHL, and Lindy
Yeah, I
Ruff.
didn't think
Like,
about
is
that.
there like you did talk about Lindy? and like the way he is, like was Spencer, is it like that much of a difference? Like is Lindy super old school and this is new school, or is it kind of the same?
Uh, no, there's for sure that like older coach like mentality stuff that goes like you can see throughout older coaches. Like I think about Vigneault, or I had in
Hmm.
Philly. But no, Spencer really thrive on effort and physicality too, which it resembles. I don't want to say try, but like he really appreciated that. Uh, Also, like how many time you talk with players and stuff. I feel like newer coach will talk more to their player, where the older coach will maybe just have more during the game, kind of a conversation or more of a you know I don't know. It's also different. It's not like every old coach are the same and all the newer coach are the same. But I think Spencer did a really good job as he started. It's probably a hard thing to learn the job on the fly like that throughout the year, and it's probably a lot of pressure on him too. You have to do good as your first contract or first chance, or else you won't stay coaching in the HL for long. But I think he's doing a great job this year too. Um, and for Lindy, he's a great coach. We're as I said, just got to figure it out our own. I think like the players all know, and there's nothing like coach can't really lace them up and play for you. He can encourage and guide us the good way, but I think it just has to be something within us.
Yeah. There's only so much a coach can do.
Yeah,
Um, what could you give us your top five Rushmore of players that you've played with and then just of all time in the NHL?
it'd be Ovi, and Ovi.
But he's got to
No,
be on there, you think?
oh
Obviously.
yeah, for sure. He's a freaking legend. Like loved every single thing of it. Like it's crazy how not old, but like he's old and he still can't score. Like you look at other guys in their career, like when they hit their 35, their goal production goes like 10 down every year. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't know how many goal Gretzky scored in the last few years, but like Ovi just doesn't. He just
The
scores
Russian
25
machine
every
never
year and
breaks.
30 every year and doesn't phase. He was on a freaking pace this year. It's crazy.
Yeah. Before you get to the Rushmore, do you think he breaks the goal record
Yeah, 100%.
this
Yeah.
year or next year?
I mean, if it wasn't from his injury, I would think, but
He'd probably be
now
already almost
He's
there.
I
he
think,
skated
yeah,
in full gear today, and he was hurt. That
yeah,
happened to him. That fracture happened to him like 2.5 weeks ago. He
Yeah.
nuts.
skated full gear.
Russian machine don't break. That's what he
It
told me.
never breaks. The Russian machine never
Man,
breaks.
no, it's
It's
crazy,
crazy. It's crazy that that guy's still
and
just
just that he
firing them.
scores that much. Like, oh yeah,
Hmm.
guys, like fans were complaining or like, oh, he's getting old. He was their best scorer or best pointer last year, and
Hmm.
even want to say, oh, it wasn't his best season, like still best scorer, and he's a weapon. Every time he's on the ice, got to be aware of him. So
Yep.
I think he's going to beat it. Sucks that his injury, but if it's not this year, it'll be next year.
Yeah. So Ovi's on the Rushmore. How many
Yeah.
is there? Four? Who are your other three that you've played with and then your all-time list?
Uh, I don't know. Like what's a praise in the Rushmore? Like good player or like
That's up to you. You can say Makar, Rantanen, like it's
yeah,
really
probably McKinnon, McCarr, Matthews. Yeah, that'd be the best player I've played with. 100%.
do you have an all-time like either like a favorite list or like some of your favorite guys or like who you think's like the greatest of all time?
I think McDavid's gonna turn out to be the. I don't know. He's the most fun player to watch. Period. he's the most electric player to watch. Uh, so in our generation, 100%. I like to think Sid was is still like such a good face of the league, and he's going to play for more years again. Just because he loves the game and such a pro. So yeah, that probably be my two favorite.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, just getting to the rapid fire here a little bit. I'll just kind of rifle off random easy questions and then just kind of say what you want. Favorite arena to play in other than Buffalo?
Montreal or Vegas, and Vegas.
Vegas is a pretty cool arena. I want to go there
I-
one day.
Is
Yeah,
Vegas
you
because
should.
of the arena?
Vegas, yeah, the atmosphere in there is so fun. Like from the feather in the warm up to all the little like animation they have within the whistle. It's crazy. So well
Yeah.
done. I don't know who their marketing team is, but they've done a great job.
What's your favorite thing to do in a city on your off day or just whenever you're in a new city?
It'd probably be like having dinner with the boys. You know, if we have a full day off and we can go into a bar or pub and watch some football, that'd be greatest case scenario. Watch a UFC fight or just something to hang out with the guys. Uh, that's always fun. Playing cards.
Yep. Um, are you a big cards guy like in the on the plane and stuff?
Yeah,
Do you guys have like a little group that plays like regularly or?
yeah. Usually, like there's always two tables per plane, so there's 8 players playing, and depending on the team, uh, they're different games, different card game. We've been playing poker quite a bit in Buffalo.
Yeah. Have you checked your Spotify Wrapped yet?
I'm on Apple Music, but
Are you on
I did
Apple
check that
Music? Like,
yesterday. Yeah,
yeah, like Nolan. Who's your top artist this year?
I think it was Zach Bryan,
That a boy.
and yeah, Kid
Yeah.
Leroy, Morgan Wallen.
Um, so yeah, you're kind of more into like the country and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Who would you say your favorite artist is of all time?
of all time, could be Zach Bryan to be honest. Like so far, uh, yeah. As I grew up, I like country more and more.
Yeah,
So
feel the same way. I'm more into like the older stuff because my dad, like the Johnny Cash and the Hank
yeah,
Williams and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I really like Zach Bryan. The fiance does as well. I figured that was going to be your answer, but I just wanted to ask as
yeah, yeah. We went to see
anyways.
him in Washington last year. That was a
Oh
blast.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's such a good performer.
Yeah. My fiance wanted to go, but like tickets were like $1,000 for Edmonton. I was like,
No,
no, that's a lot of money for
keeping my
the,
cash for Aubé-Kubel's gloves.
Yeah.
yeah, I gotta buy more jerseys. I'm sorry. Bell's going to the Sabres. I gotta buy a jersey.
Is she a hockey fan as much as
Yeah,
you?
she's from, well, not as much as me,
Yeah,
but she's from Edmonton, so she's a big Oilers fan. I was kind of hoping you'd go to Edmonton. That would have been pretty fun to
yeah. I
just
would love to go to Edmonton. I have
play with
all my
McDavid.
dad's side's from there, and I know I grew up like an Oilers fan, not to be the same in all the Canadian fan back home. So
Yeah, I'm kind of not that it's really your choice, but I'm kind of surprised you haven't gone to like other than Toronto, I guess, but like a team closer to home, kind of like
yeah,
Montreal or that kind of stuff.
hmm
I think it'd be cool to see you closer to home though.
yeah. Buffalo's not too far. Philly,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
6 8 hours, not that bad.
Yeah, that's true. Um, that's kind of where my dad would go for road trips to go see the Flyers when he was younger, kind of just go to the Buffalo area from Toronto and stuff. Um, they sometimes went up to Philly, but that was a long time ago. But yeah, what's your
What what does it start? What started your fandom for Flyers?
yeah, my dad, he really liked Ron Hextall back in the day. And then I was kind of just born into it. Back in the day, it was a little bit better when I was really young.
Hmm
Um, at least for them going to the Stanley Cup final or making the playoffs and stuff. But really, like the past 6, 7 years, I got more into it because I knew more and understood it more. Um, but yeah, just my dad, and then kind of having to stick with it, or else, get out of my house because you got to be a Flyers fan.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think it was the same for Nolan. It was kind of just born into it, and then
Yep. Just my dad was a huge Leafs fan, Gilmore fan, uh, growing
Poor
up.
guy.
Yeah.
You got raised into that. Poor you.
Yeah.
my God, Charge, you're just getting
Oh,
posterized.
Hey, it's nothing I haven't heard before. It's pretty normal,
But from an
actually.
NHL
in my
player, it's
in
even
my
I
worse.
in my
half
boys'
my
group, we
family
have
is
one
Habs
Flyers
fans,
fan,
so
one Leafs fan, and we give it to him every year.
yeah. Half my
Um,
family's Habs fans, so I just get an earful. Whether it doesn't matter when they could Habs could be bottom five in the league and they still have leverage over everything on Toronto. So
it's funny, like my family in Toronto's Leafs fans, and like just like as being from Toronto, it's kind of just like, oh, the Leafs, like I don't hate them, but like it's just like something that the family bugs me about. Like, oh, the Leafs are first in the league and the Flyers are 23rd or whatever. And it's like, well, at least we got a good draft pick. So you guys get first round exit. I'll take a draft pick. Thanks.
yeah, we'll take pick 18 every year.
Um, moving on. This is a very rapid fire. We're not doing a very good job at this.
It's just a fire.
What's your favorite song or album at the moment? Either from Zach Bryan or just in general.
I have to check my. I like that new. What's his name here? Sam Barber.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's like a country singer. I
Yeah.
like his style. That's probably what I listen to most. And then I like that last album too from Kid Leroy.
Yep.
So I'd say those two.
Um, I was gonna ask you about your pregame and your rituals, but Chart already did that earlier, and you don't really have very many. Um,
No.
what's your go-to Subway order?
Uh, I like so in uh in the East Coast there's what's it's not Subway, it's another it's another
Mr.
sandwich.
Sub?
It's called Wawa.
Oh, the
Wawa.
Wawas.
In
Yeah.
Philly area it's big. So I
Yeah.
don't go to Subway anymore, I go to Wawa. And I would say like just classic flatbread, ham, cheese, tomato, lettuce, mayonnaise, and whatever sauce you can put on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pickles.
Yeah. I'm really basic, like I told you, like the ham and cheese with the Italian herb and cheese. But
Yeah.
today, like that's my usual order. But today we all went to Subway. We have a Subway on campus, and our buddy, like he orders like a normal sub, like a white, and then puts ham and cheese on it, gets it toasted, and then he goes, done. Like he's done. And the Subway guys make fun of him for it. They're wrapping up his sub and they're like, look at this guy. Like this is ham and cheese. Like he's getting bullied for it. We're laughing at him today.
No veggies, nothing.
I mean, I'm the same way. I'll get lettuce or something maybe, but like I'm just like can't even taste the lettuce. So what's the point? It just makes it more crunchy. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's cheaper too, I think. I don't know.
Same price.
Probably the same price. I just don't pay attention to it. Just put my card.
What's your top three fast food then?
Oh,
Subway's not in there.
is Subway really fast food though? Like I wouldn't
Yeah, it is a fast
just
food.
consider it.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Like as much as it's probably not good for you. I like the McDonald's. We got one like right beside our house. Like my girlfriend or fiance, she lives like 5 minutes that way, and like I'm here, and then we have a McDonald's like right in the middle of us. So like that's usually
So
what we get.
McDonald's one.
McDonald's. We have a Tim's like right beside the McDonald's, so probably that. Um,
And ask which one were close to you. Ask like what's your top three solid. And then he gives me a geolocalization of all the fast food in this area.
Well, if you want more, we got like four Tim Hortons and like 2 minutes
I know
away.
there's Timmy's everywhere in Canada. There's
Yeah.
some in
Everywhere.
Buffalo, which I'm pretty pumped about it.
Yeah, they
But
got him in America now.
all right,
Um,
Bard, what is yours? Chard.
Um, Subway, definitely. And then as I'm big Tim's guy too. But
Big. You
yeah,
guys
and
ever
then
had like
have you
Chipotle? That's so Canadian. They don't have much
well, we
fast
don't
food.
have like we don't have
Yeah,
the
we
yes, I
Chipotles.
just got a
agree.
Oh
Chipotle
yeah,
in Calgary in the
No
summer.
way.
Like we just got one.
All
and
right, then that'll be in the top three.
we got a Chick-fil-A like
Okay,
last
Chick-fil-A
month.
has to be in your top
I
three.
love
You
Chick-fil-A,
haven't been yet. We
but
got it like
I'm
3 weeks ago.
Cube, I'm not kidding you. Me and
It's
my
like
fiance went. I'm not kidding you. The line, there's 300 people waiting outside, and there was cars backed up onto the highway waiting for
They closed
Chick-fil-A.
the road.
well, when you guys go to US and have some real fast food, you need to go to Shake Shack.
Oh, I love Shake
Five,
Shack.
five. Well, I just asked you, and you're like
Okay, well, I'm thinking
Tim
more
Hortons.
local.
No,
Yeah,
it's
okay, fair enough. Like,
Shack. Five Guys has to be in your top three or top five, and either Chick-fil-A or
Have
yeah,
you
A and
ever
W.
have you ever had Mary Brown's?
No.
Oh
Mary
man,
Brown's
that
is
place is
like
so good. It's so
it's
good.
it's like a fancier Chick-fil-A. It's just a bunch of chicken. It's really good.
Nice.
Maybe I'll bring you some when you're out here. Maybe we'll
All
go for
right.
lunch.
Pre-game meal.
Yeah.
Pre-game meals, fried
Um,
chicken, and
what is your pregame meal? Like, do you have a pregame
Yeah,
typical meal?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. Do you get
Yeah.
do you like the waffle fries?
Yeah, I love everything from
Waffle fries.
Chick-fil-A. But
Yeah.
no, just pasta, regular pasta, and sometimes sweet potatoes. I don't know, whatever good carbs you can have.
Is it usually what the wife just makes you, or do you
Yeah,
cook yourself?
every time I'm at home, she likes to have it. I'd rather eat here because, or else I just eat at the rink and I come here and I go to bed right away. So I'd rather
Yeah,
hang out with her for a little
fair enough. If you weren't a hockey player, what do you think you'd be doing? You think you'd be on the PGA Tour or what?
bit. uh, no, not really. Well, I would love to, but uh, I don't know. I like to. I don't know. It's a little passion of mine. Grow like may sound like I don't know, like construction or like engineering, civil engineer or like stuff that related to buildings and stuff. I don't know how to what extent, but yeah, I like all the 3D visuals of building and houses and you know designing a rink would be like one of my coolest feat. It
That'd be
would be
cool.
so fun, having all the plans and everything. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Off of that, did you? I'm not really sure how it works because you played in the queue. But were you like still going to university and college, or like how does that work?
So in Quebec we have a CJEP. So instead of a grade 12, we have 2 years or 3 years of CJEP, which is like a pre-university. So if you want to be electrician or like depending on like whatever job you want to do, you can just go to CJEP and not go to university. So depending on like what job you want to do, they'll give you like a specified program. Yeah.
Hmm. So like what did you take then?
So I thought myself as kind of smart, so I went to nature science, which is like the math program,
Oh yeah.
and then playing in Val d'Or and having road trip of 6, 7, 8 hour every weekend didn't work well with the school. So after one semester, I changed to the easier pick, which was human science,
Hmm.
which I didn't relate to anything that I was working on, so I didn't want to keep pursuing that. So then my last year, I was just like, give me the easiest class, so I can have it. So I had like badminton, Spanish, And I had another one, which was, I don't remember what it was, but my friend always make jokes because I used to pick my class like that. And they said I had like pottery or like making faces and stuff. So they always like, every time we talk about school, they're like, oh yeah, shut up, Nick. You used to take pottery in school. I have to shut up after that.
Um, a more fun one. If you're on a stranded island and you can only have three things, what are you bringing?
A boat. I don't know,
Fair enough.
like I'm stuck there, like I can't really escape with it. Uh,
A boat, a paddle, and a bottle of water. There you go.
yeah, like a phone. No, but uh, I don't know. A deck of cards. If I'm like stuck there forever, like a deck of play cards with someone. I don't know. Good question. Like nothing like survivalist
I
deal.
I think
Uh,
that's
just say
mainly
like
the fun of the question. I
yeah,
don't.
deck of
I
cards. Maybe my dog. And third
some
one, like a fishing rod, would be serverless, but it's also fun to fish. So
yeah. So just fish
yeah,
for fun and not eat the fish.
I mean, it'd be a dual.
Yeah. On the topic of fast food and that kind of stuff, you go into a gas station. Let's say, is Wawa a gas station?
Yeah,
Um,
the best
what are
kind.
the three items? What's your go-to in a gas station?
I like the Reese's Pieces,
Yeah.
so that would be like my candy. I would go for like the Wawa has like one of the best milkshake. They have a milkshake which is cheesecake, Oreo, like some like chocolate. It's like the three thing I love the most in
Damn.
into one milkshake. Yeah, it's like you get a heart attack just from drinking it, but it's so and probably one of those like hoagie or like sandwich. Probably my go-to.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, all we have is pretty much slushies. And then if you want a fancy milkshake, you go to, we don't even have fancy milkshakes. We got chocolate and vanilla,
Nope.
and you go to Dairy Queen. Like, that's,
Yep.
um, are you a big video game guy?
Here and there, yeah. I feel like during the season I played a little more than during the summer. Yeah, I play Call of Duty quite a bit.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like those Assassin's Creed. I don't know how to say
Yeah.
Assassin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed. I always play like the newest release and play for like 4 weeks straight and sweat and then stop playing.
Yeah.
But I really like the last one. Odyssey was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, those would be my two pick.
So you're
For the
not
Call of
really,
Duty, are you a campaign or are you playing online with the boys?
are you playing
Campaign.
zombies?
I like zombies. I really like zombies, but the boys don't like zombies. So I play like Warzone with the boys.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Warzone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't played that in a long time. I played it during COVID a lot and I
Yeah.
like
Oh,
streamed it.
COVID, man. Almost wants me to go back into a pandemic so I can just play video games, eat chips on my
Yeah.
sofa.
Hop on the
No, that's a
game.
joke. I would never go back in there. But those were
Yeah.
dark
No.
time. But those were good time for my kill ratio.
Your KD ratio. That's what it was
Yeah,
all about in COVID.
it's all about.
So you're not really like a big NHL player. You're kind of just other games and
I
staying
used to play
away.
when I was younger. Play NHL and FIFA, but kind of phased out. I used to do like the GM mode.
Yeah.
Love that. Love trading myself. Putting
I was gonna
myself on
say
the first line. No.
that's exactly what I do. I put you on the first line of my hockey team and then
Hell
boost your
yeah.
stats up. There you go.
Hell yeah. You should be GM in my next team.
Uh, yeah. I sent that into the group chat. I was like, Kubel, first line, let's go. What's the most used app on your phone?
Uh,
I think you
Probably
can
like
look if you
for real. Probably like
uh
Instagram or
yeah. You're not a
let's
big
say
Twitter guy, are you? I know you have a Twitter page, but
I
you're
don't have
not.
I don't have Twitter. When I was with the Flyers, someone hacked it and it was
Oh, that's
posting.
not you?
No, it was posting like racial slur and stuff. So I just
Oh.
Yeah, like Jewish jokes and
I'm
stuff.
Oh
glad that's
my.
not you then.
People
Oh,
thought it was
good.
funny. It's not me. So I don't know. I thought I deleted it back then. So I don't know
So
who
this
should.
one's not you.
Someone's running my account then.
No, nobody posts on it, but that's not you. It
Wow,
hasn't been.
Looks like
2.6K
everything got.
follower.
Yeah, it hasn't been active in like since 2016.
Yeah, that's when
It
I got
reposted
that.
something about Travis Anaheim and Dave LaFrance and good luck to Slave Lake Thunder.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, that's about it.
yeah, you're following zero people. So,
Yeah, that's
but yeah, I mean, yeah, probably Instagram. I think you're on there the most.
yeah. Instagram or DoorDash for anytime my wife asks for food.
Yeah, that's
She just got down. That's awesome. Bring tail. Hey, little my bean. Hey, little my boo boo.
oh,
Oh,
hi Theo. Hi Madison. I don't know if you can hear us, but
Hi.
hi.
All right, we'll wrap this up and we can have dinner.
Yeah, I mean, we can wrap up from there. I mean, that's pretty much all I had for you.
yeah.
Chard, you got anything else?
No, I've asked all the questions I wanted to ask today.
Okay. I mean, thank you so much. I'm glad we finally got this
Yeah, sorry
sorted
about.
out.
Yeah.
I feel embarrassed from missing the first two time. Hopefully, you didn't ask the fans like each week for like
No,
questions.
that we did that
No.
intentionally. We were like, I'm not gonna post anything until we officially do something. And then I was
Oh
pretty
my.
confident in this one, so I was like, I'll post something
Sorry
tomorrow.
for you guys for stooding you up twice.
It's all good. I know
Just got
things
lost
happen.
We
into
stole you
my
for pretty
day.
much 2 hours today,
I put
anyways.
like
So
4-1 this time. I was like, I'm not gonna.
Not missing this one.
The first time I was like, look at my phone at 7. I was like, oh shit, I had something today. Oh no. Yeah, it's just kind of my
Okay.
personality. A little
Yeah. Well,
lost.
because like I like as a last resort, because we were kind of waiting for you. I was like, I have messages with your wife. And I was like, all right, maybe I'll text Madison see if she'll get back to me. And then she also gets back to me later. She's like, oh my God, I'm sorry, I completely forgot to. And like you wanted to really do it. I'm like, it's okay. Like it's just we were all just laughing about it. It's all good.
All right, tell your boys
But
I'm sorry.
yeah, but Dylan had a bet that you wouldn't come again, so he owes us some money.
All right, buddy, perfect.
Yeah, but thank you so much for
yeah,
doing
thank
this. It
you.
was great talking to you.
All right, no problem. Had fun.
Really
Yeah.
nice meeting you.
Yeah. We'll definitely get something set up in March. Go for lunch or something.
All right, cool. See you, Chard. Nice to meet you.
See ya. Yeah, nice to meet you too.